We swap out the bright lights for soothing, balmy smells and moist, warm cubicles. In another corner of the lavish Protean hotel sits the health club known as the Foam Bar. Two lines of soft wooden benches sit in the middle of a large foyer. An occasional painting of the beach lines the marble wall, which mostly contains vestibules for various treatments. Massages, magic stone treatments, exfoliating rubs, jacuzzi, steam baths, sauna rooms, even a sensory deprivation tank. Whatever luxurious treatment your body could want is likely available at the Foam Bar, if you are fortunate enough to be invited to the Protean Hotel. Hello and welcome. My name is Vaibhav and I'm a professional writer and game master. I've been running Dungeons and Dragons games for over 5 years now, including at Now Boarding Cafe in Bangalore for about a year and a half. If you don't know, Dungeons and Dragons is a collaborative storytelling game where all of us play characters and put them in heroic situations using pen, pencil, paper, and dice to make decisions. The Parasitic Protean Hotel is the name of the campaign that I'm trying to run and discover the story of, and I'm trying to do it with a rotating cast of players. This past Saturday, I ran a session. So now let's do a recap of the Parasitic Protean Hotel, episode 2. We had 5 players for this game, 4 of whom were new, 1 of whom was returning. So our first returning player, Vanessa, and our first returning non-playable character, Laszlo Marisian, our villain. The notes for this game are provided by Vanessa. We start in the Foam Bath, which is a health club with the introduction like at the beginning. And our first scene is one of the new players, Achilles, lying on a massage table getting a hot stone treatment. We introduce a NPC, Hemlata, that is like doing the treatment on him. He doesn't interact much with the NPC, but he looks up from his vestibule where he's getting his massage, and on the wooden benches outside he makes eye contact with one of the other players, Lucian Skyweaver. And Lucian is sitting here waiting for his steam bath, and they both nod at each other, just acknowledging. There are other people seated on these benches waiting for their turn. After trading a glance with Achilles, Lucian gets up and goes over to the steam room, opens the door, and steam comes out, and he goes and sits down, and inside we see 2 or actually 3 more figures. The way we described the scene was there's a cloud of steam at the top and we just see his legs as he sits down on the bench, and then 2 other sets of legs sit next to him. One is a woman, we'll get to her. The other is this man called Lance, and Lance is one of our new players. Lance is annoyed by the steam room and he starts to go out, and again he opens the door. He himself is there with a friend of his, another NPC that we created on the spot, and as he opens the door and walks out, he doesn't notice that he bumps into one of the staff who are helping out in the foam bath. So the staff here, we cut to this person who falls on their butt. They're this green scaled dragonborn, and Lance ignores him and moves on, and he calls back to his friend, this dwarven lady this dwarven NPC in the steam bath. And then we cut to the other woman, which is Vanessa, and this is our returning player. She demonstrates her first bit of power. We see a floating cold drink that is just like hanging out beside her so that she can drink from it whenever she wants, and she starts to exit the steam bath as well because now it's emptying out, and she helps up the staff member who's fallen down. The staff member is Ethan, one of our new players. So Ethan runs a scene where he's like, oh, this beautiful lady is here, and he wants to give her a romantic look, so we have them roll off. Vanessa rolls an insight check, Ethan rolls a persuasion check, and he fails badly. So we do this comedic scene where he gives this long romantic look at her for being kind to him, and she's already moved on and she's moving past. But it is when she's moving past and when Lance has already moved forward, we then see one of the other people sitting on the wooden benches gets up, turns, and bares their teeth. This is a pale figure, and his teeth and eyes indicate that he is not a person. He is more likely some undead thing. And we cut to a battle scene. So now we get to a combat scene with this creature. and another creature that walks into the foam bath from the entrance area. Combat in Dungeons and Dragons is a turn-based game with a lot of rules. And to play this game, I put down a basic map that I had, I had a drawn room there, and we used that. And I placed the characters down as figures, and then they could take turns. So our first character to move is Achilles, the person who was getting the hot stone massage. In this spa area, I said, none of you have your equipment, your armor, nothing like that. And therefore, they're all very weakened. However, he asks for a dagger, and I say, cool. And he pulls that out from the pillow on which he was lying for his massage. So he jumps up on the table, then jumps down, throws this dagger at the creature. Unfortunately, it misses. It goes flying past and goes past the wooden benches. Ethan, the dragonborn, the green one, is next, and he comes up and he's like, the guests are in danger from this creature. He breathes out this poison breath from his mouth, affecting only this vampiric creature. It gets hurt, but it seems okay, and it turns and swipes at him, bringing him down in one shot. We have Vanessa go next. So Vanessa comes up and targets the second creature that is walking in from the entrance. And now here we see true magical power, where she starts to glow and she summons a elemental force from her hands, molds it into a ball and shoots it. There's a spell called Chromatic Orb, and it does a shitload of damage to the creature, but again it seems completely fine. It goes running at her on its turn. It goes past Achilles, who takes a swing at it, doesn't manage to hit it, and then the creature hits Vanessa and brings her down altogether in one go. Next is Lance. Lance takes a small, he takes a pipe that is sitting there at the edge, and we make that an improvised weapon. And he uses an ability where he makes a little cut on his palm using the steel rod and smears his blood on the thing, and it lights up with fire. So Lance, we learn, is a blood hunter, which is a particular class in D&D, a particular type of creature. He has blood magic. So he sets his rod on fire and hurts the vampire, the first one, badly. Then Lucian steps forward and he uses Mage Hand, the same spectral hand that Vanessa was using for her drink. He uses it to pick up the dagger that Achilles had thrown and then dip it in the remnant poison from Ethan's poison breath. Now in the game system, there's not actually remnant poison breath, but it was such a cool moment that I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's have you roll for it. He wanted to dip it in the poison and attack the vampire. He couldn't roll high enough for that. So I said, okay, you rolled high enough to at least dip it in poison and hand the dagger off back to Achilles, who now is holding a poison dagger to attack him. We do a little bit more where all of these people are getting ready. They're getting severely damaged by these two vampiric creatures. And at the end of a round of combat, we have the door burst open and in comes Laszlo Marasian. And Laszlo has this strange flickering eyesight, and he preaches into the room, stop ye creatures of the night, come to me. And both these vampires stop moving. He goes up to them, grabs their heads and puts them on his own neck, letting them feed from him. And as they do that, they sort of become complacent and then they leave. And then Laszlo, he uses healing magic. Now we know Laszlo is a vampire, so for him to have healing magic makes no sense whatsoever. This is a plot development and a mystery for our players to resolve and for you to resolve when you next play. But Laszlo is a vampire with healing divine magic. We cut the scene here. He brings back the downed players, and we cut to the dining room where he's sort of apologizing to everybody for this sort of incident. He assures them that these sorts of things don't happen regularly, but something is wrong tonight, and he points to the window of the hotel. They are now back in the casino, sort of in the dining area, which we now learn is on the 15th floor of this 30th floor hotel. And he points out the window and everybody looks, and there's massive storm clouds and fog that is obscuring the entire area. He says that something is wrong because of which people cannot leave the hotel. Somebody asked him if this is the first time vampires are attacking, and he said yes, this is the first time. However, the player made something called an insight check, which is trying to read body language or cues to try and understand a little bit more. Rolls very high, learns that Laszlo is lying. This is not the first time this sort of incident has happened. And we then see everybody's attention turn to Vanessa whose hair and fingers start to go up, and she's glowing with light as these little like orbs of light come out of her. Her eyes turn blue and her irises turn black, and we cut there. That is the cliffhanger of this episode, as Vanessa is manifesting some power. Mechanically, what this is Vanessa's second session, so she levels up from level 1 to level 2. Dungeons and Dragons provides a level progression for characters, and this is one of the rewards that you get from playing as your character grows stronger. So Vanessa is growing stronger, and we stop the session there. So what did we learn about the story in this session? We have Vanessa, our first returning player, who was a rich heiress in episode 1, and in episode 2 has revealed very strong magical powers which now seem to be surfacing without her consent. Laszlo has some sort of preacher vibe, and he goes into like a religious fervor when commanding lesser vampires. And he also has healing magic, which seems antithetical to vampires. From our 4 new players, we have 3 who are from important families, whether wealthy or powerful. Between these 3 new players and players from the previous session, we now have enough families or groups outside that we can use to sort of tangle some threads together and build a history of things that are happening. And finally, our 4th new player, Ethan, is our first member of staff. And because of him, we now have access to the kitchens, the laundry room, the staff quarters, and other places in the hotel that we can explore in future sessions. So thank you for watching this video. You can come play Dungeons and Dragons with me at Now Boarding Cafe in Bangalore, or if you prefer online, I'm running online games on Wednesdays. Let me know, ping me, either write a comment or contact me on Instagram, which is shown here. Oh, one last thing. If you're enjoying this, thank you so much. You could help out with something. I have a friend who is raising money for a medical treatment to stop himself from becoming paralyzed, essentially. He has cervical instability. His fundraiser has raised some money, but he's going to need a lot more. More information is given in the link below. Please do check it out. Thank you so much.